it's time to please stand and remove your hats while Holly Beckett sings the national anthem.
Welcome back here at Sinsheimer Stadium for Game 7 of the 10-game homestand to begin the season for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Game 2 against the Solano Mudcats after a disappointing 8-1 loss last night against Solano. A whole different new lineup tonight for San Luis Obispo. A lot of moving parts going around. Let's take a look at the defensive alignment for the Blues before we get you going for a look at the Cats. So behind the dish, making his Blues debut is Nico Button. He's the only player making a debut tonight for the Blues. Brendan Comerford at first base, the only other first baseman to play in that spot besides Chris Johnson this season. We got Braden Mondu at second base, Caden Cuchilla back at third, Isaiah Munoz playing shortstop. And in left, Jake Hicksenboss, center, EJ Royal, and in right, it's Giovanni Blanchette. Starting pitcher for the San Luis Obispo Blues, it's Hunter Hammond, while Taylor Holder will be doing the DHing. So after a look at the defensive alignment for the San Luis Obispo Blues, let's look at the Solano Mudcats for their 1 through 9 hitters. So leading things off, it's Mason Sayer playing second base, Dalen Schiff at right field, Ansel Carson playing third base, Connor Ross doing the designated hitting, Colin Brown catching, Cody Buckley at first, Dash Carson at shortstop, Max McGee in left, and Braden Indelicato in center field. And then on the mound for the Solano Mudcats, it's Tyler Lamperti. But before we can get there, Hunter Hammond making his second start of this season for his Blues. Last time he rolled out there, it was Game 1 against the West Coast Kings, and he really had an impressive showing against the Kings. 3 innings pitched, just 1 hit, and 6 strikeouts. Was on a pitch count, so you wonder if Dean Traynor is going to let Hunter Hammond fly a little bit more here. The Westmont commit here for the San Luis Obispo Blues on a Mimosa Sunday. Beautiful afternoon at Sinsheimer Stadium. As we get set for first pitch, a 69-degree day, not a single cloud in the sky. Not until later, at least. Driving to the ballpark today, a thick layer of clouds coming in from Morro Bay, so stay tuned. Wind blowing out to left. Mildly breezy day as the throw from Button is online, and we are just about to get set underway. Mason Sayer, the second baseman for the Mudcats, leading things off in Game 2. Takes a skip and a hop and a practice swing. And the infielder from Hawaii Pacific is set to face Hunter Hammond. From the windup, here comes Hammond for strike one, and we're underway. First pitch at 2:06 p.m. on a 69-degree afternoon in San Luis Obispo. This one swung on and hit to Royal in center. Coming in on it, makes a nice grab on the move for out number 1. You've talked about it in batting practice with the players and a little bit on the broadcast. The outfield is a bit of a graveyard. You hit the ball out there, and if it's anything to the right or right on top of second base, that thing's going to die. And we certainly saw that with E.J. Royal having to take a few awkward steps running in on that ball from the lineup by Mason Sayer. So 2 pitches, 1 out for Hunter Hammond, and now Dalen Shipp steps in now. First time this season as a Solano Mudcat in their second game of the entire year. Fastball low for a ball. Shipp, an outfielder for the Mudcats today, playing right field. Here's Hammond on the 1-0. Off speed, taken for ball 2. Missing just inside on that changeup. Crowding the batter's box, toes up on the inside chalk is Shipp, as there's strike 1 from Hammond. So Hammond, like I said, a commit of Westmont College, the 2023 NAIA champions. Chopper over to Cuccia at third, has to play it on a hop. Throw over to first is offline, but a nice tag from Comerford slips out of his glove. So reaching first safely is Dalen Shipp. Off the slap tag that was a little too hard from Comerford, it got away from him. So we talked about it yesterday, the 5 errors that plagued the Blues last night in their 8-1 loss is carrying over into today. First error of the game on the errant throw from Caden Cuccia. And Dean's intention, manager Dean Trainer's intention of putting Cuccia there is just getting another look at third base. Comerford was actually at third base last game. Now makes a shift over to the other side of the diamond at first. He's the first player to not be named Chris Johnson to start first base this season. So a 1-out base runner off the throwing error from Caden Cuccia. Now it's Ansel Carson, one of 2 players in tonight's lineup for the Mudcats that played in last night's game. And last night he went 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts, a walk, and came around to score. Hammond nods, kicks and deals, breaking ball in the dirt. Nice block there by Button to keep it in front. Carson going to St. Mary's College in the fall, a native of El Cerrito, California. Spent last season with the Gales, used his red shirt, and as he takes a look at ball 3, did some damage as a Comet at Contra Costa College. All conference during his tenure there. He was also a team captain. Went hitless yesterday. Now here he is on the 3-1. And that one's taken for a strike. Hunter Hammond got a call on the fastball, clipping the inner half of the zone. So 3-2 now. 1 away here for Ansel Carson after a runner, and Dalen Shipp was awarded first base on the throwing error. Fastball in there for ball 4. Looked like an identical pitch that got called for strike 2. This time it's called a ball by the home plate umpire. So Carson reaches first on the walk from Hunter Hammond. There's Hammond's first walk of the day. And Shipp moves up to second base for Connor Ross, the designated hitter. He DH'd last night, hitting the 4 spot as well. Same thing again here. Yesterday, he was 0 for 3 with 2 runs. As this one hit hard out to left, Hicksonbaugh giving chase. That's going to go over his head. One hops the wall. Coming around to score is Shipp. Here comes Carson as well, and trotting into second base with the double is Connor Ross. Solano Mudcats strike first on a ball that was absolutely punished over the head of Jake Hicksonbaugh. Had a difficult time reading it off the bat. He took his first step in, but it didn't even really matter because even if his first step was back, that ball reached the warning track in a hurry. So a loud contact from Connor Ross. And the Mudcats strike first, 2-0 in the top of the first inning. So now it's Colin Brown, the catcher for the Solano Mudcats, with a runner on second. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Brown is a Crusader from Holy Cross College, native of Los Angeles, California. Rising sophomore. Catching today, nubs this one back out of play for strike 2. Real impressive resume at Notre Dame High School, where he was the 2023 All-Mission League MVP and was also the most improved player that season. 0-2, swung on and miss. So after giving up a 2 RBI double to Connor Ross, Hunter Hammond turns around and strikes out Colin Brown swinging. That's the second out of the inning for the Blues, and so now it's Cody Buckley with 2 away. Buckley playing first base tonight, primarily listed as a catcher, but will be serving his duties at the infield today. First pitch curveball taken for a strike to the Iowa Western catcher. Graduated of Vanden High School from Vacaville, California. Played in 21 games in his senior season as a Viking, nearly batting .400. And he takes a look at strike 2. 1042 OPS for Buckley in his senior season. 5 doubles, a triple, and a homer. 0-2. Lazy swing to Munoz at short. Has to play it on an awkward hop. Gets the throw over to first in time. Good stretch from Brendan Comerford to record the third out of the inning. But the Solano Mudcats strike first on the 2 RBI double from Connor Ross. It's the Blues' turn in the bottom of the first inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. I'd like to remind you that the bottom of the first inning is brought to you by Studio Design Group Architects. You can find them at sdgarchitects.com. Studio Design Group Architects. For 40 years, they've designed buildings with one thing in mind: people. Entering the bottom of the first inning here after the Solano Mudcats struck first on a 2 RBI double from Connor Ross. And we'll meet the defensive alignments for the Mudcats right now. Doing the catching, it's Colin Brown, Cody Buckley at first base. At second, it's Mason Sayre. At third, Ansel Carson. Shortstop, Dash Carson. And in left field, it's Max McGee. In center, Braden Indelicato. And in right, it's Dalen Shipp. E.J. Royal leading it off for the Blues today. Then it's Jake Hicksonbaugh, Braden Mondu, Brendan Comerford, Nico Button making his debut, Taylor Holder, Isaiah Munoz, Gio Blanchette, and Caden Cuccia batting ninth for San Luis Obispo. E.J. Royal 0 for 4 yesterday. The first game he not only didn't get 2 hits, but he didn't even get 1 hit. An 0 for 4 night against the Solano Mudcats in Game 1 against the Dirty Fish. Quickly falling 1-1 to Tyler Lamperti, tonight's starting pitcher for Solano. Royal takes a look at ball 2 in the dirt. Lamperti, a left-handed pitcher from Consumnes River College. native of Truckee, California, currently uncommitted after his freshman season as a Falcon. Fouled State back now 2-2 to the Utah Tech Trailblazer. 38 and a third innings pitched last season, a 6.34 ERA. 27 strikeouts in those 38 and a third innings. So some command issues for Lamperti. We'll see how the Blues can ambush him today. 2-2 to Royal, swung on and missed, strike three. E.J. Royal swings and misses for the leadoff strikeout from the center fielder, and now it's Jake Hixenbaugh. Hixenbaugh didn't get the start in last night's game, but he did the day before with the Santa Maria Indians. Had a pretty solid night towards the end of the game, a 2-for-5 night, a double, a single, 1 RBI, a walk, and a run. That was only E.J. Royal's second strikeout this entire season. He started in all 7 games so far and only 2 Ks to show for it. This just goes to show how well he's been hitting the ball, and if you're a Blues fan, you hope that streak can pick right back up. Through an 0-for-4 night, he begins his afternoon with a K. Now it's Hixenbaugh, the left fielder, digging into the left-handed batter's box on the 1-1. Swing and a nice hit into the left center gap. Indelicado moving to his right. It's dropping in there for a base hit. First H of the day for the San Luis Obispo Blues, and it comes off the bat of Jake Hixenbaugh. A tailing single in the left center gap. Real nice barrel on that ball. Didn't try to do too much. This pitch was middle away for Hixenbaugh. He just threw his hands out there, and it found a hole. Keeping it simple is the utility player from Monterey Peninsula College. Still one away here. Runner on first after the Hixenbaugh single. It's Braden Mondew, the second baseman, who will be entering the transfer portal when it opens back up tomorrow. Spent his last season at BYU, where he redshirted for the Cougars. Mondew last night was 1-for-3 with an RBI, and he also walked. And he fouls this one back out of play, falling to 0-2 in the count. Mondew drove home the only run the Blues scored last night. Taking off for second is Hixenbaugh, and the ball skips in the dirt. He'll get in there no problem. Stolen base for Jake Hixenbaugh. Got a real good jump on it, and also a fortunate bounce in the dirt from the spiked curveball by Lamperti. Now a runner in scoring position for Braden Mondew. Now taking off for third is Hixenbaugh, and swinging and fouling this one near the bullpen is Mondew. Buckley went to go after and make the catch right near the fencing, but he slams into the wall and can't come up with it. New life for Braden Mondew as he tries to stay alive against Tyler Lamperti, today's starter for the Mudcats. Left-handed pitcher comes, set, rocks. Takes a look at second. Now kicks and fires to Mondew. Here it comes, fouling it straight back, 1-2. We'll do it again. Velo seems to be down from yesterday. A lot of the pitchers that San Luis Obispo face living in the upper 80s, low 90s. And here from Lamperti, it appears to me from my vantage point in the press box, we're sitting mid-80s right now. Here's the 1-2 to Mondew. Swing and miss for strike three. So the second out of the inning, it's another strikeout, this time to Braden Mondew. So now in the fourth spot, it's Brendan Comerford making his first start at first base tonight. The only player not named Chris Johnson to do that this season. And yesterday he was 0-for-3 with a strikeout and a walk. Takes a look at the fastball upstairs for ball one. Infielder from Ohlone College likes to do damage. 12 home runs, a triple, and 12 doubles last season at Ohlone. Currently an uncommitted rising sophomore. Lamperti deals. Breaking pitch taken for ball 2. The guy can slug with the best of them. Had 52 hits at Ohlone, generating 39 RBI on those swings. 2-0 missing outside, and Hixenbaugh got a great take off for third base, and he's in there safely. Another stolen base for Jake Hixenbaugh. Great jump. So the first run for the Blues just 90 feet away on the 3-0 count with 2 away to Brendan Comerford. 3-0 taken all the way, and there's ball 4. Runners now at the corners to the 4-pitch walk to Brendan Comerford. And now it's Nico Button making his SLO Blues debut tonight. The only Blue in the lineup to do that. Pretty drastic change from last evening where 5 of the 9 starters were hitting at Sinsheimer Stadium for the first time this summer. Button, a catcher from Cal Berkeley. He's catching today for the Blues. Entering his senior season. First pitch curveball in there for a strike. Currently an undeclared major at Berkeley, looking to go into economics. 0-1 to the left-handed hitting catcher is swung on and chopped down the right side, foul. I think it's pretty incredible that this early on in the season, this is probably our 5th left-handed hitting catcher we've seen. Not a characteristic you see often from the guy behind the dish, but here we are for the 5th time on this afternoon game against the Solano Mudcats. 0-2 to Button, spoils this one out of play. And looks like Hixenbaugh's going to score on what looks like an interference here. That was the first run of the game for the Blues. Interference from Brown on the foul from Button. That's the first run for the Blues. I don't think the crowd even noticed. 0-2, Button takes a look at ball 1. Very silently executed by the umpires there as Comerford advances to second base. Colin Brown, his glove touched that foul ball from Nico Button. Whatever gets it done. 1-2 to Button is swung on and tapped to the right side on Sawyer. Has to make the play on the run. Spikes the throw and it gets away from Buckley. There's the second run of the game for the Blues, and they tied this one up on the throwing error from Sayer. Nico Button reaches on error off the difficult play from Sayer, and this game's tied up. What an ugly bottom half of the first inning. The Blues have an answer with 2 runs off a catcher's interference and a throwing error. So now it's Taylor Holder, the slugger from Nevada Reno, with a runner on second base, 2 away, checks his swing but holds it up for ball 1 in the dirt. The DH last night, bit of a difficult debut in front of Sinsheimer, 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Hoping to rip up that sombrero and throwing it in the garbage last night. New life today to the outfielder from Corvallis, Oregon. 1-0 missing downstairs again. Hitters count now to Holder, who had himself a blast last year with the Wolfpack. 663 slugging and 166 at-bats. That's legit, folks. 2-0 to Holder as he twitches in the box, and he swings that changeup in the dirt. K numbers were pretty high up there in Reno, though. 45 Ks and those 166 at-bats. But he made up for it with his serious power. More home runs than doubles. 14 compared to 11. Taps this one at home plate foul. Count now even at 2-2 to Taylor Holder. honoree of second team All Mountain West this past season in his second year with the Wolfpack, entering his redshirt senior year next year. Spent 2 years in Eugene with the Ducks, University of Oregon. Here he is at 2-2, swinging and tapping it straight back into the netting. Holder just trying to get a solid piece of one in his second game as a Blue. All of his contacts so far in his at-bats have been soft tappers right at the batter's box or right behind home plate. Again on the 2-2, swing and miss for strike 3. So getting stranded at second base is Nico Button, but the Blues tie this one up off of a fielder's error at second base from Sayer and a catcher's interference from Brown. It's 2-2 heading into the top of the second inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. Top second here at Sinsheimer Stadium. The weirdest inning I've ever seen. So in the top of the first inning, the Solano Mudcats struck first from a 2 RBI double from Connor Ross. Nothing out of the ordinary there, so they started off with a 2-0 ball game. Blues came up to hit in response. Jake Hixenbaugh got on first via a single, stole 2 bags, was then at third, and then came around to score on a catcher's interference from the at-bat of Nico Button, as this one sent out to left center. Moving to his right is Royal, and he can't get there. There's a base knock to Dash Carson to lead off the second inning. So Hixenbaugh came in to score from a catcher's interference from Nico Button, and it was very bizarre because the umpires didn't have a signal or anything. They just pointed to Hixenbaugh from third and said, yeah, come in to score at home. And no one in the crowd really noticed it. Everyone in the press box is paying attention to the game, and we're all saying, what just happened? So that was the first run. And then an error from second base from Sayer, a throwing error, spiked in the dirt. It was a tough play to make, but Nico Button still reaching on error as Brendan Comerford came around to score. So now it's a 2-2 ball game here, and Dash Carson just led off with a single. And Hunter Hammond almost hits Max McGee with that fastball. 1-1 to McGee here. Playing left field today for the Solano Mudcats. Listed as an outfielder from San Diego State. This one's taken for ball 2. Hunter Hammond doesn't like it. Hitter's count to the right-hander. Kicks and fires his Hammond. Here's a grounder up the middle. Munoz has got it on the run. Here's the throw to first. Plenty of time to retire Max McGee. There's a double play for the SLO Blues. And I'd like to remind everyone that every time the Blues flip a double play, as we'll take another look at it here, Munoz made that look really easy. And here's actually the base hit from Dash Carson. He eventually was retired on that double play. But here's Ryan right here, by the way. He'll be joining us in the top of the fourth inning. When the Blues flip a double play, they give away these exact teddy bears to Sierra Vista Hospital off of Foothill in San Luis Obispo. So every time Blues flip a DP, this will be going to a lucky child at Sierra Vista Hospital. There's a fly out to left, and the side is retired from Jake Hicksenbaugh. So a double play and a fly out to left. Still 2-2 going to the bottom of the second on the SLO Blues streaming network. After flipping a nice double play to get the first two outs of last inning, Isaiah Munoz now leads it off for the Blues. First pitch swinging, taps this one in front of the Solano Mudcats dugout. Munoz had himself an evening against the Santa Maria Indians, enough to dub him the player of the game. He went 5 for 6, 2 doubles, 3 singles, 4 runs. Sharply hit to short. Carson's got it. Throw over to first is offline. And Buckley can't apply the tag to Isaiah Munoz. Errors galore here. He's coming off the bag to retrieve the throw from Carson is Buckley. And reaching first safely off the throwing error is Isaiah Munoz. So now the dirty fish getting remnants of the Blues defense from last night, starting to rub off on them. As there's already a combined 3 errors. We're not even through 2 innings of this ball game. First pitch to Gio Blanchette, taken for a ball. Blanchette came into pinch hit for the Santa Maria Indians. Had a nice RBI single rolling off the bench the first at-bat he had. And he takes a look at ball 2. Went 1 for 2 that evening against Santa Maria after coming in to hit for Eric Furness. Throw over to the first is not in time to try to get Isaiah Munoz. 2-2 ball game. Each team 2 hits apiece. 2 errors for the Mudcats, 1 for San Luis Obispo. Here's the 2-0. Not sure where that missed, but it's taken for ball 3. 3 straight balls in a row to Gio Blanchette with a runner on first. Tie game. No one out, taking all the way, and that's ball 4. Blanchette gets 2 calls, and he gets awarded first base on the walk. So now 2 runners on, 1 via an error from the shortstop Carson. And that's Isaiah Munoz at second base, and then the 4-pitch walk to Gio Blanchette. Now it's Caden Cuccia playing third base today for San Luis Obispo. Showing bunt. Pulling it back, they appeal. And no, he did not. Cuccia, one of the surprising players in the Blues lineup, making a start today in the 9-hole for San Luis Obispo. Real good night against the Indians as well. 2 for 4 evening with 2 walks. A stolen base, 4 runs. And an RBI. He shows bunt again, gets it down. Coming up on it is Lamperti, gets the out at first base. And the bunt goes down successfully as the runners advance. 1 station up. Munoz now at third and Blanchette at second. Nice job, Cuccia, getting the job done on the bunt. We'll flip it to the top of the order to E.J. Royal. He struck out swinging his last time up. Royal last game, strangely, no hits. An 0 for 4 evening against the Mudcats. Now here he is with the corners in. Runners at second and third. Softly sends this one back out of play. And you know, I hesitantly talked to EJ before the game yesterday. As a former player myself, I understood that when you're as hot as he is, you don't want anyone talking to you about how good you're playing. You just want to focus on barreling up baseballs, and that's exactly the answer he gave me. Check swing, and he was able to hold up. 1-1 to E.J. Royal. So he moved on quickly. He just said, this is all I want to do right here. And he puts his fingers on the barrel. There's a lot of baseball marks on it. And that's all he said to me. So I made it up to him today at batting practice, and I said, hey, this one's on me for mentioning how well you were playing after an 0 for night. So he takes a look at strike 2. And he goes, oh, no, man. This one, that's not on you. Actually, it's all my fault. Typically, I drink a raspberry rain before the game, but last night he had a vanilla cherry bang. Tapped up the middle, bouncing through for a base hit. 1 run comes around to score. Here comes another from Blanchette, and a 4-2 lead for San Luis Obispo. 2 RBI single from E.J. Royal. And you never guess it. He resorted back to his raspberry rain before this game, and what do you know? A 2 RBI single. The kid is all about superstition, and he's starting to convince me. First hit of the day for E.J. Royal. 4-2 lead for San Luis Obispo. Jake Hixenbaugh takes first pitch upstairs for ball 1. Hixenbaugh, last time he was up, he singled, scored 2 bases, and then stole 2 bases, then came around to score on the catcher's interference and the Nico Button at bat. Here he is, 1-1. Late swinging on the breaking ball. Lots of tail in the air. Tough play for Indelicato in center, but he camps under it for the second out of the inning. And that jet stream is pushing real hard out to left. This ball was towering in the air, and you could see it from the press box, the amount of run that it had to Indelicato. He took a few steps to his left and then right back to where he started because of how much movement it had in the air. So pop out to center field for Hixenbaugh. He's retired for the first time today. And Mondu, who struck out in the first inning, gets an opportunity here with a runner on first, 2 away, and the recipient of strike 1. 0-1 to the infielder in the transfer portal, formerly at BYU. Throw to first is not in time to get E.J. Royal. Two 2-run innings for San Luis Obispo, and they're up 4-2 against the Dirty Fish. Left-hander comes set, wind ferociously blowing on that powder blue jersey. Taking off from first on the pick is E.J. Royal. No one is on the bag to receive the throw from Buckley, and he's in there safely with a stolen base. Good jump by E.J. Royal, who was reading first movement from Lamperti, the left-handed pitcher. And he took off right as that right foot lifted off the ground. The throw over the first to Buckley, and Carson wasn't paying attention. He wasn't even standing on the bag. So E.J. Royal in there, no problem with a stolen base. Huge cut from Mondu. Comes up empty, falling now to 0-2 in the count. Mondu, who struck out swinging his last time up, finds himself in an 0-2 count. The runner on second, 2 outs here. Rocking and coming set is Lamperti. Taking off for third is Royal, and sliding head first safely with another stolen base. E.J. Royal steals third with 2 outs in the inning and 2 strikes on Mondu. 1-2 to Mondu again. Here it comes, missing way upstairs for ball 2. Deuce is wild to the Tucson, Arizona native who spent his first seasons in college at Pima Community College. It was an ACCAC regional championship in the 2023 year. He takes a look at ball 3. Fills it up at 3-2. Entering his senior season in the portal. Trying to work himself in this full count. Chopper right in front of the Cats bullpen. Two runs on 1 hit this inning from San Luis Obispo. It was a 2 RBI single from E.J. Royal. 3-2, a nubber right in front of the Blues bullpen. Staying alive here in a 3-2 count. Fighting off pitches he doesn't like. Wanting to get a hold of one here is Braden Mondu. Here he is on the 3-2. Breaking ball taken for ball 4. Just missing the lower half of the strike zone, and Mondu is on with the 2-out walk. Great at bat there from Braden Mondu, spoiling off pitches that were just a little too close to take with 2 strikes. And he did a good job waiting until ball 4, and now reaching first base for Brendan Comerford. Runners at the corners for the slugger from Ohlone Community College. Talked about his impressive power numbers last season. His first year at Ohlone, just as many home runs as doubles, 12 each. A guy who can certainly do damage here and has done so far this season, with the exception of last night, going 0 for 3 with a strikeout and a walk. Just missing the fastball and fouling it right back into the netting for strike 1. Bat boy chugging to get the ball. High effort kid. Some guys just want it more. 1-1 to Brendan Comerford. Here it comes. Changeup, what I thought was too low, is in there for a strike. Been a bit of a wild ride early on for the strike zone of the home plate umpire this evening. But here's 1-2 to Comerford. Skipping in the dirt for ball 2. 2-2 with 2 away to Brendan Comerford. Runners at the corners. E.J. Royal at third after 2 stolen bases. Mondu at first from the 2-out walk. Here it comes. Swung on, and here it goes into the right center gap, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Coming around to score is E.J. Royal, and advancing to third base is Braden Mondu. 2-out RBI single from Brendan Comerford. So now a coach from the Mudcats staff coming out to talk to his left-hander and Lamperti. After the 3rd run of this inning, off the bat of Brendan Comerford. Comerford not necessarily strong contact from the right-hander, but it was just enough to bloop in there in the right center gap between Indelicado and Ship. Royal was able to come around and score, making it hurt for the Mudcats. This is the life that they were looking for in the sticks last night. And it's all coming to fruition today in front of a Mimosa Sunday crowd. Pretty nice showing, especially after a late night here at Sinsheimer last night for fireworks. And fans, if you missed your opportunity to see the fireworks last night, you can still come to our July 3rd game against the Santa Barbara Foresters as we celebrate America's independence with a fireworks show after the game at 6 p.m. Nico Button, who reached on first after a throwing error from the second baseman Sayer, takes a huge cut, falling to 0-2 now. Making his debut with the Blues today, the catcher from Cal Berkeley. Had a nice season last year with the Golden Bears, a .319 average and 47 at-bats. Taking off for second is Comerford. Here's a chopper to Sayer on the run. That throw is too tall. Mondu comes in to score off another throwing error from Sayer. It's now 6-2 San Luis Obispo in the bottom of the second inning. Seeing that scoreboard light up already early on in this game. Been a wild one so far. So runners on first and second. Nico Button reached on air for the second time today. Has taken off for third is Comerford. And getting there late is Carson. But he's in there safely with a stolen base. That's another two-out steal, this time from Brendan Comerford. Only had 7 stolen bases last year. This one sent out to right center from Taylor Holder. That's going to drop. And a run scores again. Brandon Comerford coming around from third for the 7th slow Blues run of the day, thanks to an RBI single from Taylor Holder. Holder's bat finally comes to life after striking out 5 times in a row. Comes through in a big way as the runs just keep piling on to the Fish. And it looks like Lamperti's day is done. We'll take a look at the new pitcher coming up after this on the Slow Blues streaming network. New pitcher for the Mudcats with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. It's Carter Krosky from Utah Valley University, a transfer from South Mountain Community College and a Phoenix, Arizona native. Bouncing in the dirt right in front of him and taking off for second base is Taylor Holder. Before the pitching change, Holder came through after striking out 5 times with an RBI single. Now he takes second base on the dirt ball read. So he'll face Isaiah Munoz, who led off this inning and reached on air. Sidewinder flings it into the other batter's box for ball 2. Munoz, the first domino to fall in a blow-up inning against the Solano Mudcats. Yanking this one away from the shortstop committed to Cal State Northridge for ball 3. Runners at second and third to Isaiah Munoz. 3-0 count, 2 outs away. 7-2 lead for San Luis Obispo. Missing in the other box again for ball 4. So the rally continues for San Luis Obispo as Giovanni Blanchette, who walked last time up himself, gets another AB here in this inning. Bases loaded for the outfielder from Fresno City College. Blanchette takes a look at ball 1. Played in 18 games last summer with San Luis Obispo, one of 2 players to represent the SLO Blues on the South team in the CCL Showcase down in Compton, where it will be hosted again this season. 1-0 takes a look at the cutting fastball for strike 1. Currently uncommitted out of Fresno City College. Went to St. Mary's his freshman year, but then entered the transfer portal after a coaching change. Departure of Greg Moore. There's a towering pop-up moving to his right is Carson. Camps underneath it, and there's the third out of the inning. The damage has been done, though. The Blues respond with 5 runs in the bottom of the second inning. It's 7-2 Blues on the SLO Blues streaming network.
Top of the lineup again for the Mudcats, leading up the number 1 batter, wearing number 3, Mason Sayre.
Top 3 here at Sinsheimer Stadium after a huge inning for the Blues, a 5 spot against the Solano Mudcats, and now they lead 7-2 after the Dirty Fish striked first in the first inning with 2 runs. So Hunter Hammond heads back out there for his 3rd inning of work, and he'll face the top of the order in Mason Sayre, Dalen Shipp, and Ansel Carson. Sayre lined to E.J. Royal last time up. Can't hold up on the check swing for strike 1. Two and one here to the infielder from Hawaii Pacific, entering his redshirt freshman season. Skipping in the dirt, blocking it is Button for ball 3. Redshirted with the Sharks last year, but in his senior season as a Wildcat from Will C. Wood High School, 17 games played, 70 plate appearances, hit a .441 batting average. And he takes a look at ball 4. So leadoff base runner for the Solano Mudcats. They got their work cut out for them, trailing by 5 here in the first frame of play. Ship reach on error last time up. A throwing error from Caden Cuccia at third. Takes a big hack at that fastball for strike 1. Ship eventually came around to score from the 2 RBI double by Connor Ross. Hammond long pause, now comes home. Taken for a ball. Not sure where that one missed from Hunter Hammond. It's been a frustrating day for him so far in just 2 complete innings of baseball. 1-1, skipping in the dirt, holding up at first base is Sayer. And now 2-1 to the right fielder from Hawaii Pacific. Short lead from Sayer at first. And taken for ball 3. Hunter Hammond having some difficulties finding the strike zone. So far in the 3rd inning, he had no walks last time he rolled out there against the West Coast Kings in 3 innings pitched. Missing upstairs for ball 4. Real tight strike zone from the home plate umpire today, as Hunter Hammond walks 2 batters in a row to begin the 3rd inning. So now it's Ansel Carson for his 2nd time today. He walked himself back in the 1st inning. Eventually came around to score, also via that 2 RBI double from Connor Ross. Carson played last summer for the Novato Knicks. Saw limited action in only 9 at-bats. He got 3 hits, though. One of them was a double. One of the very few switch hitters that we've seen this summer as well, as he stands in the left-handed batter's box and now shows bunt. Pulls back and takes strike 1. Good movement on the cut fastball from Hunter Hammond to get Carson to pull back his barrel. We do have an arm getting loose in the Blues bullpen, as well as the Mudcats. Hammond takes 2 looks, now comes home. Just missing outside with the fastball. 1-1 to Ansel Carson, who's playing 3rd base today. And squeeze the pop fly from Giovanni Blanchette to end the 2nd inning over there at 3rd base. Now here he is at 1-1. Pitch in there for a strike. And that looked identical to ball 1 that was taken the pitch before. Creeping up at the dish is Carson. Waggles the bat on the 1-2. Spoils this one off the hands, out of play. We'll do it again at 1-2 to Carson, who was 0 for 4 last night and struck out twice. Runner at 1st and 2nd for the Mudcats. No outs, trailing by 5. Here's Carson holding up on his swing for ball 2. Hunter Hammond has been missing all around the strike zone early on in this game after being so dominant against the West Coast Kings. 2-2, big swing and a miss for strike 3. There's the 2nd strikeout of the day for Hunter Hammond and the 1st out of this inning. So after striking out 2 times last night, Ansel Carson picks up his 3rd K of this weekend series. So now it's Connor Ross, who did some damage first time he was up, the 2 RBI double after going 0 for 3 last night. This one's hit sharply out to left center again, and E.J. Royal can't get there. Coming around to score is Mason Sayer. There's a bullet from E.J. Royal to second. Holding up at third is Dalen Ship, and there's an RBI single from Connor Ross. Should come as no surprise that the bat of Connor Ross is coming alive after a 0-fer last night, as he just had a blast last season at Solano Community College as a Falcon. He's a Bay Valley Conference MVP, Big Stick Award winner, and first team All-State last year at his junior college. Mound visit here as we get ready for Colin Brown. Brown, last time he was up, struck out swinging against Hammond. That was his first K of the day. I was reading off his accolades, his senior season at Notre Dame High School that led him to earn a spot with Holy Cross College as a Crusader. His senior season, he batted .333 with 31 hits, 5 stolen bases, 20 RBI. He takes a look at ball one. It was the Los Angeles Daily News All-Area Team, Cal High Sports All-State First Team, Boris Classic South Offensive MVP, Max Prep's Third Team All-State California. 1-0. This one sent to third for Cuchilla. Throw over to second. Hesitation from Mondu at second, and the double play cannot be completed, and there's another run for the Mudcats. Dalen Ship comes around to score after one half of the double play was completed. So Colin Brown is aboard off the fielder's choice. He'll go down as an RBI as Cody Buckley takes a look at strike one. Buckley grounded to short off a nice play from Isaiah Munoz back in the first inning. Here's the 1-0 to him. Missing inside is Hunter Hammond. Buckley from Iowa Western Community College. He redshirted his first season there as a reliever. 1-1, a dribbler moving to his right is Cuchilla, but out of foul ball for Caden. Yes, you heard me. A reliever from Iowa Western Community College is Cody Buckley. And if you're wondering what a reliever is, it's a river pirate. And evidently the school gets a lot of questions about their mascot as they have a whole page dedicated to this exact topic. So I guess the term river pirate was originally designated for those who attacked the Missouri River vessels as 19th century explorers and settlers used the river to carry goods and go back and forth between their territories. It was a fitting term to label the Missouri River plunderers as the Reaver. That's where Iowa Western got their name from. Sharp hit to Munoz. Here he is on the backhand. Force out at second base, and the side is retired. So the Mudcats have an answer, and they cut the lead to 3 runs against the Blues. It's 7-4 San Luis Obispo heading into the bottom of the third on the Slow Blues streaming network. Bottom of the third inning is brought to you by Apex Technical Sales. You can find them at glenair-apex.com. Apex Technical Sales. We are here to make you successful. Leading off the third inning is Caden Cuccia. Last time he was up, bunted right back to the pitcher in Lamperti. Advanced runners to second and third. And he takes a look at ball one here. 1-1 against the Mudcats. Solano brought in a new pitcher in the middle of last inning. It was Carter Krosky. He stays out there, and the sidewinder delivers to Cuccia, who spoils it out of play. 1-2 now to today's third baseman. Committed to Kenyatta College from Rigetti High School. And there's ball one to him, 2-2 to Cuccia. Last game against the Santa Maria Indians went 2 for 4. Couple of knocks, an RBI, and 2 walks. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Spinning around on the huge cut from Caden Cuccia. And he signals to E.J. Royal that was in fact a changeup. But the first out of the inning goes from the strikeout to Caden. We go back to the top of the order to E.J. Royal, who's feeling himself after drinking a razzleberry rain before today's game. E.J. has been the single hottest hitter in this lineup, who had a rare 0 for 4 game yesterday against the Solano Mudcats, but right now he's 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs and 2 stolen bases. 1-1, and he takes all the way on the slider, quickly falling to 0-2 is E.J. Royal. Spent last season with the Utah Tech Trailblazers, and native from Arroyo Grande High School. He'll be entering his senior season this year. Sends this one to right field, falling fast, but there in time is Ship for the second out of the inning. So a soft liner out to right field. It was starting to die, but Ship with enough wheels to come up and get it on the fly. A strikeout and a lineout gives way to Jake Hicksonbaugh, who's 1 for 2. He also has a base hit and stole twice. He came around to score the first Blues running of this game off a catcher's interference. And a huge swing and miss for strike 1. Here's the 1-0 from Hicksonbaugh. Missing away in the dirt. I've seen a few pitches so far from Buckley. He's got to come set. Always coming from the stretch, and he's had a problem coming to a complete stop. There's another time right there. Missing downstairs for ball 2 is Jake Hicksonbaugh. One of those guys who never comes from the windup, and he's pumping that left leg. Never seems like he comes to a full stop. As he dangles the right arm, now comes set here. Heel comes off the ground. He comes set finally. Hicksonbaugh holds up on his swing, and he takes it for a ball. 3-1 to Jake Hicksonbaugh. Wanting to prevent a 1-2-3 inning here in the bottom of the third. Taking all the way for ball 4. A 2-out base runner for Jake Hicksonbaugh. That's the second time he's reached base safely today. And so now it's Braden Mondu looking for his first knock. Mondu struck out swinging in the first, walked in the second, and he came around to score in that inning. Now he finds himself here in the third with a runner on first. Throw back to first, not in time. First pitch to Mondu, skipping in the dirt. Hicksonbaugh holds up at first base. Entering his senior year in the portal is Braden Mondew after redshirting last year at BYU. Here's the 1-0 long hold this time from Buckley. That one skips in the dirt again for ball 2. Arm still getting loose in both bullpens, the Mudcats and the Blues. Can confirm for San Luis Obispo, it's Eddie Tierney. Looping slider in there for a strike. 2-1 to Braden Mondew off the long slider in the 2-0 count. Hicksonbaugh increases his lead at first base. Huge secondary. And another worm burner from Cody Buckley. Hitters count to the second baseman from BYU. Throw back to first, once again, not in time. SLO Blues up 7-4 in the bottom of the third inning. Put up a 5 spot in the second inning. Mudcats had an answer in the top half of this frame. And there's ball 4 to Braden Mondew. Back-to-back walks for Cody Buckley with 2 outs in the third inning. And now it's Brendan Comerford who got a base hit his last time up. RBI single from the infielder from Maloney College. He stole third base with 2 outs as well. Before that at bat, he walked, reached second off a catcher's interference. He was eventually stranded there. Here he is with 2 runners on. And a rock skipper from Cody Buckley. Blues with 6 hits on the day compared to Solano's 3. This one's hit hard down the left field line, and that will be foul. Rene Regalado leans back with his hands on his head as he was ready to send everybody. Nice barrel from Comerford, and we'll do it again here in a 1-1 count. From the stretch, and a look back at second is Buckley. Long hold and another take. Here he comes. Missing inside on the 2-seam fastball. Now up 2-1 is Comerford. 39 RBI last season at Ohlone. Has 1 today. 2 takes at second, now comes home. This one is jammed and foul ground, moving to his right, and Carson, and he squeezes it for the 3rd out of the inning. San Luis Obispo strands 2 runners on 2 walks, and a pop out for the 3rd out of the inning from Brendan Comerford. It's still 7-4, heading into the top of the 4th inning. We'll say what's up to Ryan Giacomini on the SLO Blues streaming network. New pitcher for the Blues, it's Eddie Tierney for San Luis Obispo, and that will end Hunter Hammond's day in the top of the 4th inning. Another sidewinder, this time for San Luis Obispo. As first pitch taking for Dash Carson is in there for a strike. From the windup, here's the 0-1. Missing, or actually in there for a strike. And Ryan Giacomini joins us in the press box here, and I'm trying to figure out the umpire's zone today.
Me too. I mean, on top of how weird the offensive prowess for both teams has been, as well as this umpire, it's just been a weird day at the ballpark so far.
And a lot of runs coming in the first third of this game. 11 total runs combined between both sides. Just started this game at 2:06 p.m. Played just over an hour here at Sinsheimer Stadium on a Mimosa Sunday. And is dodging out of the way on the 1-2 is Dash Carson. Beautiful 70-degree afternoon at Sinsheimer Stadium. The wind's starting to pick up here as Tierney gets a chopper down the left field line, and he touched it before the ball could roll foul. Eddie Tierney was rushing towards that ball, and there was a chance it could have just spun into foul territory, and they'd moved to a 2-2 count, but he touched it before it did, and reaching first base is Dash Carson. Infield hit for the shortstop as that now gives way to Max McGee, the left fielder, who grounded into a double play his last time up for Solano. Tierney missing on the fastball outside for ball 1. Carson from Marin Community College just finished his freshman season as a Mariner, where he got 10 hits and 55 at-bats. Pops this one, still in play. Comerford squeezes it in foul territory for the first out of the inning.
Good play there by Comerford to range into foul territory. Like you mentioned earlier, we haven't seen him at first base, and he's been doing a pretty good job so far. Made a pick in the early innings and then a good play in foul ground. That's
a real tough play to make, too. Coming off the bat of a right-handed hitter, it's tailing foul towards the netting, and you're trying to scale that wall there. You're trying not to run into it, and it eventually actually spun back into play with those strong gusts of wind up there in the air. So good awareness there from Comerford. Nice feel at first base. As there's the first out of the inning. So now it's Braden Indelicato, the 9-hitter for Solano. Lefty center fielder from Biola. Committed to play there next season as he takes a look at ball 1. Last year as a Falcon at Solano Community College saw limited action, just playing in 9 games, 24 at-bats, 4 hits. Did record a double, though. 1-0, dodging out of the way of it for ball 2. Not his first rodeo with the Dirty Fish. He played last summer with Solano in 19 games, 11 for 50. It's good for a 220 average. He also had 1 double there as well. 2-0, broken back, jump from Comerford, and a tag at first. Nice play, Brandon Comerford.
Doing it all out there, making the play in foul ground, leaping up and making the double play as Caden Cuccia comes and gives him a 2-hand shove.
That's an athlete, folks. Jumping like a cat, diving to tag Dash Carson for the 3rd out of the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th, 7-4 Blues on the Slow Blues streaming network. Bottom of the fourth inning here, and I'd like to remind you that this half inning is brought to you by Plan Perfect. Be sure to contact Sherry Tullerman at planperfectretirement.com. Plan Perfect, corporate retirement plan specialists. A real nice play there from Brendan Comerford to end the top of the fourth. This one shot the other way, foul from Nico Button. Comerford leaping up to grab the soft liner from the broken bat, and then making the unassisted double play, tagging Dash Carson, diving back to first.
Yeah, it really was a good play. One of the better ones we've seen all summer for the Blues.
1-1 to Nico Button, who's reached on air twice, both from the second baseman Sayer. Now up for his third time today.
And you know what that double play means, Nate. Another one of those teddy bears going away to Sierra Vista Hospital.
This bear is really soft, I want to add also. I'm holding it right now. 3-1 to Button. This one's grounded to Sayer. Right side. Makes the throw over to first. So in 3 at-bats, Nico Button has gone to the second baseman Sayer all 3 times. And this time he finally retires the catcher from Cal Berkeley. So after the ground out, it's Taylor Holder. He came through with an RBI single his last at-bat and eventually stole second base, snapping a 5 at-bat Schneid where he had 5 Ks. Now here he is against the new pitcher for the Mudcats, Nathan Shakur, a Willamette Wildcat. Holder, the second team All-Mountain West selection, sends this one into the concourse. Wow, nice grab from a fan. Classic dad just chilling. Reaching it with the left and giving it to his boy. That's classic. 2-2 to Taylor Holder, the former Duck, who went 2 for 5 in his short stint at Eugene with 2 RBIs. 2-2, a dribbler up the middle. That's through for a base hit. Holder collecting hits as his second one of the day rolls up the middle of the infield. And there's a 1-out base runner.
Yeah, we figured at some point he was going to get his bat going. We were talking to him a little bit before the game. He said it's tough. It's very different than his home ballpark in Reno where they has a battery. There's none here, and there's a white fence, or a shed, I should say, out there. So it makes it much harder to see the ball.
They got a real nice setup there at Reno. Saw a couple photos of their field. Very solid batter's eye out there. Having to make a couple adjustments here. As here's a bouncing ball from Munoz to short. Playing it on the hop is Carson, and they'll force out Holder at first, but Munoz will reach safely on the fielder's choice. So still 1 runner on off the high bouncing ground ball that almost got the best of Carson at short, but he made the flip over to first or to second for the force out. Blanchette swings and misses at the fastball for strike 1.
Munoz has now reached base all 3 times he's come to the plate. He has no hits, and he's reached base in 3 different ways: fielder's choice, error, and a walk.
It's kind of the stuff we've seen from him in the first 2 games as a Blue in that series against the Coastal Dodgers. Then he had that blow-up match against the Indians where he went 5 for 6. As Blanchette sends this one in the air, moving back is McGee, still going at the wall. It's gone! Giovanni Blanchette, room service. He jumped ship here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Blues on top, 9-4.
That's what I'm talking about. Giovanni Blanchette gets a hold of one. He was swinging the bat really well in the cages before the game. Good sounds coming off, and it pays off right here. A big 2-run home run for the kid who had an incredible night 2 nights ago when he pinch hit. Got 2 hits and an RBI, and he's just picking up right where he left off.
That thing hung in the air for an awfully long time, and I was unsure it was going to get out for a second there, but caught that jet stream out and left, and McGee kept flipping his head. And he clears the wall. 2-run bomb for Blanchette, his first of the year. As Cuccia takes a look, it's now 1-1. And he checks his swing. The appeal, yes, he did. And you're right, Ryan. Some loud contact coming off the bat of Blanchette in batting practice today. One of the louder sounding barrels in the cages. 1-2 to Cuccia, take in for strike 3. But the Blues add a couple more runs on the 2-run homer from Giovanni Blanchette. It's 9-4 Blues heading into the top of the 5th on the SLO Blues streaming network. Top 5 at Sinsheimer Stadium after a 2-run bomb from Giovanni Blanchette, his first of the season. The Blues tacking on 2 more runs in this 9-4 ball game in Game 2 against the Solano Mudcats.
Yeah, really good barrel there by Blanchette. Hung up there for a while, like you mentioned, but the wind was able to carry it out.
Yeah, and honestly, I thought he got under it just a little bit. In my mind, I thought, oh, man, he just missed it. But before you know it, snuck out of here. 1-1 to Eddie Tierney in there for a strike. Tierney will face 1-2-3. Mason Sayer, Dalen Shipp, and Ansel Carson. Here he is, feet together from the windup. Tierney comes home. Here's a soft pop-up. Shallow right field. Coming in on it is Blanchette. Makes the running grab for the first out of the inning.
Had a home run, make a catch. Blanchette's doing it all.
Pretty solid 5 minutes to the kid from Fresno City College. As now it's Dalen Shipp, the right fielder, stepping in after reaching on error in the first and walking in the third. Came around to score both times. Almost gets hit by the fastball for ball 1. Huge cut from Shipp, and it's tapped foul. We'll do it at 1-1 from Eddie Tierney. One. Missing outside with the fastball. So a hitter's count to Dalen Shipp. Mudcats wearing their powder blue tops today with their Red Sox red helmets. I honestly like this look a lot. as he rolls away from the fastball, 3-1. The big powder blue guy. And that's a pretty iconic combo with the bright red and the powder blue. You see it with the Cardinals. I think that's the biggest one that comes to mind. You see it with Ole Miss, does it in college.
Yeah, definitely a clean look.
Only thing that's missing for the Mudcats is the powder blue pants. Rolling away from this fastball, and there's ball 4. So a 1-out walk awarded to Dalen Shipp. And I don't know, I think I initially didn't like the powder blue pants, the monochromatic situation there, but they've grown on me a little bit.
Yeah, I think you got to add in a lot of red, though. You know, get some more color in there. And I think the Mudcats do it actually really well with, red helmet, especially the batter up there, Carson. He has a red, like almost 3/4 sleeve that pops out of the jersey, red lettering. Looks good.
1-out base runner for Ansel Carson. He struck out swinging last time up, and he walked in the first inning. As for the Blues, they're wearing their Sunday grays. You don't see a home team wearing gray that often, but the Blues do. It's a throwback unis, as this one's fisted back into the netting. I think these are my favorite of the Blues uniforms. Just another classic look. I love the San Luis scripture on the front.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. It's up there. I think the pinstripes are probably my favorite.
Fair.
It's a little just throwback look. I really like the pinstripes, especially with the touch of the blue stripe down the middle, the big blue stripe.
Mm-hmm. Makes for a unique look. As Carson takes a look at ball 2. Two and 1 to the left-handed third baseman. He takes a look at ball 3. So hitters count here for Ansel Carson, who just finished his redshirt season at St. Mary's. Transferred from Contra Costa College 2 seasons ago. And he nubs this one foul down the third base side. Fans currently vibing, if you will, at Sinsheimer. Everyone's basking in the sun in front of a beautiful day in San Luis Obispo. 3-2, missing outside. There's ball 4. Back-to-back walks for Eddie Tierney here with one away in the 5th.
Just got to find it, get the Mudcats to hit the ball in play. They've already hit into 2 double plays, so, you're just a ground ball away from getting out of this inning.
With 1 out away, he would certainly like to generate something of the sort right now, but that might be difficult with the hot bat of Connor Ross, who already has 3 RBIs on the day from a double and a single.
This guy has an incredible bat. Last year as a Falcon, he hit .433 with almost an 800 slugging.
Is that good?
Pretty darn good.
0-0 to Ross, and that hits him square in the bat. Tosses his stick in front of the dugout. Now the bases are loaded. First pitch, he gets hit on the shoulder blades. Bases juice for Colin Brown.
No movement yet in the Blues bullpen, so it's going to be Tierney's mess to get out of.
Standing in his way here with 1 out, it's Colin Brown, the catcher from Holy Cross College. From the windup, he comes home, and that's taken for a strike. Trying to distract him at third base is Dalen Shipp.
He was about halfway down the third baseline in an attempt to distract Tierney.
0-1, huge swing and a miss on the fastball for strike 2. Down in the count, the All-Mission League MVP at Notre Dame High School, entering his sophomore year as a Crusader. Here's the 0-2. Off the hand, straight back into the netting, will do it again. First year at Holy Cross, got pretty good amount of playing time. 136 at-bats, 38 hits. 1 home run, 11 doubles. Pretty solid numbers from the true freshman. Back in Massachusetts. As this one's spoiled into the concourse. Staying alive with 2 strikes.
Doing a good job of it, too. Just getting his stride and load out of the way early. And then getting the bat to the ball, allowing him some more opportunities here with the bases loaded.
Runners get their leads on the 0-2 with 1 away. And this is softly hit in the infield. Making a hop and a skip is Caden Cuccia. Catches it in the air for the 2nd out of the inning.
Good job there by Tierney to just get some soft contact and get himself 1 out away from getting out of this jam. So far, the Mudcats have not done any damage, although 3 free passes from Tierney. He'd like to keep it that way.
To Cody Buckley at first base is taken for a strike. Buckley grounded to short both times up. One was a fielder's choice, though, in the 3rd inning. On the 0-1, gets beat on the fastball and fouls it right back into the netting. 0-2, 2 away to the catcher from Iowa Western Community College. Bases juiced. Mudcats down by 5. Here's the 0-2. Yanking on the fastball for ball 1. Wind still jetting out to left field. Hicksonbaugh hugging the line, not playing incredibly deep. Long hold from Tierney from the windup. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He fooled Buckley badly on the slider, and the bases are stranded, loaded as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. 9-4 Blues on the SLO Blues streaming network. One, two, three for San Luis Obispo. A 5-run lead entering the bottom of the 5th inning. E.J. Royal, Jake Hicksonbaugh, and Braden Mondu to get things going for San Luis Obispo. E.J. is 1 for 3 on the day. A single, 2 stolen bases, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. There's ball 2 to the center fielder from Utah Tech. Nathan Shakur heading back out there for his second inning of work, and he comes through with the windup as this one's popped up in the infield. Buckley moving to his left, and he comes up with it for the first out of the inning. A pop out from E.J. Royal gets things going here in the 5th. So now it's Jake Hixenbaugh. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Also had a base hit himself, as well as 2 stolen bases and a run. And in that run, he came around to score on a catcher's interference. Also had a walk where he was stranded at second base.
The 1-2 punch of Hixenbaugh and Royal have been in full effect so far today. They've both scored and been on base 3 times total.
Huge swing and a miss on the changeup from Hixenbaugh for strike 1. One and one to Jake. Missing outside for ball 2. Hixenbaugh, 6 hits and 39 at-bats in 18 games at Monterey Peninsula College last season, as the fastball is taken for a ball. Native of Atascadero, just 15 minutes up the road from Sinsheimer, a graduate of Atascadero High School. He's a Greyhound. 3-1, sharply hit back up the middle, a base hit. Jake Hixenbaugh's second single of the day, and it comes in a nice 3-1 swing.
Yeah, really nice swing. He was in a good hitter's count looking for his pitch, and he got it. Drove it hard on the ground, back up the middle. Able to get on for Mondu, who's already reached base twice today and has been swinging the bat better and better every day he's been out here.
Mondu still looking for his first ball in play. He reached base on 2 walks. He came around to score on one of them as the pick to first was not in time. He struck out in his first at-bat. Now here he is with Jake Hixenbaugh at first base after reaching on the hard hit single. That one's taken for ball 1. Mondu spent last summer with the DC Grays in the Cal Ripken Collegiate League. Back on the East Coast. Hixenbaugh takes off for second. There's a big swing from Mondu. Head first slide in there safely. Another stolen bag from Jake Hixenbaugh. That's the 3rd of the game for the kid.
He's just speedy fast. He gets a really good jump, and almost every stolen base he's had this season, there's just no chance at getting him. He's always there in plenty of time.
Yeah, I think that's the key for Hixenbaugh is those first 2 steps. Does a really good job exploding out of his secondary. 1-1 cut from Mondu for strike 2. And it's funny, E.J. Royal doesn't get the jumps that Hixenbaugh does, but his speed makes up for it. And not that Hixenbaugh is slow, but E.J. Royal is able to leg it out better than Hixenbaugh is. He's able to make up for the slow starts. 1-2 to Braden Mondu, the second baseman in the transfer portal. Takes a look at ball 2.
That was a really good take there from Mondu. It was almost an identical pitch to the one he just chased the pitch before. And he did a good job noticing it out of the hand and taking it all the way.
Here he is, 2-2 with one out, a runner at second base. And this one's off the hands and foul straight back. 9-4 ball game in favor of the SLO Blues. 9 hits versus the 4 put up by the Solano Mudcats. Bats have finally come alive in today's game. Made some adjustments from last night, only putting up 4 hits in 9 innings. 2-2 to Mondu. Down the middle for strike 3. Mondu goes down looking for the second strikeout of the day and the second out of this inning.
Yeah, it just wasn't the pitch he was looking for, 2-2. Wasn't ready for, he took a little bit off of that, maybe a changeup or even maybe a 2-seam fastball. Had a little bit of inside run to it, and I don't think Mondu was ready for that.
So still at second base with 2 away is Jake Hixenbaugh, and now Brendan Comerford, who popped out to third last time up, has an uncomfortable swing for strike 1.
That's not the Brendan Comerford we've seen today and as of late. Not the prettiest swing there at all.
Off speed in there for a strike. 0-2 to Brendan Comerford, who struck out yesterday. 1 for 2 on the day with a stolen base, a run scored. Hixenbaugh dances at second. 3 looks back to the bag. And here's a broken bat dribbler to second. Sayer throw on the run is in time. So the side is retired and Jake Hixenbaugh is stranded. 9-4 Blues heading into the top of the 6th on the SLO Blues streaming network. Oh, it's Buckley's, or it's Eddie Tierney heading back out there for his second inning of work here against the Solano Mudcats. A 9-4 lead for the SLO Blues as we head into the top of the 6th inning. We just finished the tennis ball toss, and fans line up behind the netting of home plate. We set up a white bucket and right next to the batter's box. And if you throw a tennis ball from your seat and land it into the bucket, you had the chance to win 2 season tickets for the rest of this year to Blues games. Yesterday, we actually saw a ball go into the bucket. And today, while the balls weren't landing next to the bucket and settling next to it, there was a lot of really close shots that kicked away.
Yeah, I mean, the whole time people are throwing up here. Oh, is that one getting?
Yeah.
Oh, so close.
Exactly.
The entire half in between innings.
So for the Mudcats, it's 7, 8, 9. Dash Carson, Max McGee, and Braden Indelicato. Holding up on his swing, but taking for a strike is Dash Carson. 2 for 2 on the day. Is the shortstop. Tierney misses inside for ball 1. Carson from Marin Community College, a rising sophomore with the Mariners. 2 doubles last year and 10 hits. 1-1, huge swing and miss for strike 2. As the Amtrak rides on by Sinsheimer. And the wind still pushing heavy out to left field. 1-2 from Tierney, taken for strike 3. There's Eddie Tierney's second K of the day and the first out of the inning to Dash Carson.
Good job by Tierney with the fastball and was able to find the corner up and away from the right-handed batter, Dash Carson. It has to be so hard to hit the ball for these right-handed batters with Tierney coming across his body at a very low, almost sidearm throw.
Yeah, it's an interesting sight as a right-handed hitter to see that angle from a right-hander like that. You think the ball's coming right at you, and then it swoops right across home plate.
Yeah, and it's not like he's lacking velocity either. It's probably around mid-80s on his fastball.
Slider taken for strike 2. Max McGee grounded into a double play and popped out to first in his 2 at-bats. Here he is on the 0-2 with 1 out. Checks his swing, they appeal. No, he did not. Ball almost hit him, and McGee almost went around.
I think he might have thought it was the slider again. He got his swing ready just in case it was, and it ended up being a 2-seam fastball.
Over his head from the windup is Tierney. Here he is in a soft liner to Mondu. He catches it on the fly for the second out of the inning. So a strikeout looking and a soft liner to Braden Mondu. And there's 2 away here in the 6th.
Much different inning up to this point for Tierney. He gave up 2 walks and hit a batter last inning, and now he has 2 quick outs on just 8 pitches.
Braden Indelicato, who lined to left and then lined to first. Nice play from Brendan Comerford to get the unassisted double play to end the inning. And Delicato going to Biola next season after a year at Solano Community College and Diablo Valley College. Number right at home plate, foul. Rising junior from Yuba City, California. Spent last season with the Mudcats as well. Played in 19 games. In freshman year at Diablo Valley College, he played in 24 games, had 21 at-bats, 4 hits. Oh, 2 outs from the left-handed batter's box. Here's Tierney from the windup, and that misses outside.
Just let his hand open a little bit with that pitch, and it squirted away from him into the right-handed batter's box. Coming across like that, it can be hard. He has to make sure he really gets his arm around before he releases the ball, or else it's just going to be wild.
Makes the adjustment on the 1-2, but he misses upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Braden Indelicato. Minimal action in the SLO Blues bullpen, but there is a left-hander for the Mudcats. Fastball just missing outside. Count now full. Didn't miss by much as Tierney tried to clip the outer half of the strike zone to the left-handed batter in Indelicato. 9-4 Blues, no one on, 2 outs, 3-2 to Indelicato, missing outside with the fastball, and there's ball 4. So a 2-out base runner for the Solano Mudcats, and we'll flip it to the top of the order for Mason Sayer.
Not what you want to see from Tierney, who struggled with throwing strikes in the 5th. I mentioned he got 2 quick outs and then got ahead in the count 0-2. Then 4 straight balls has Indelicato, the center fielder, over at first base.
Sayer looking for his first hit of the day. He reached safely back in the 3rd via a walk. He came around to score then as he pulls in the fastball for ball 1. Lined out to E.J. Royal in his first at-bat, then popped out to right in his 3rd. From the stretch, deep breath from Tierney, comes home. This one fisted out to right. Coming in on it is Blanchette, and he can't make the grab. Losing his footing in right, and now the throw to 3rd is not in time as Cuchilla can't even put the tag on. And I'm not sure what happened there on that play with Blanchette. It looks like the ball landed in his glove, but he got tripped out there in right field, and then it came out, and the ball was live.
Yeah, that'll go as an error, unfortunately for Blanchette, but hopefully it's not costly as we saw last night where 5 errors cost the Blues 7 runs.
That's the 3rd Blues error this ball game. Like you said, Ryan, they had 5 last night. Late on the fastball is Dalen Ship for strike one. Reached on air in the first, then 2 walks. Came around to score in those first 2 at-bats.
They need to clean up the errors. I mean, it's early in the season. It's a fine time to see these problems and work on them before the regular season. But it cannot be an issue come June 9th when we start league play.
Certainly unsustainable. If you're going to make all those errors like that, you better come with the bats every single game.
Which they are tonight. They didn't last night, so.
0-1 late on it again for strike 2. And obviously in a perfect world, you want the bats to be going every single game, and you want to punish the pitchers as much as possible, but it's just simply not that realistic with the makeup of this lineup that you're going to be doing that on a nightly basis for San Luis Obispo. So you might as well try to clean up the things you can control the most, and that's the errors. Taken off for a second base, but it doesn't matter. Strike 3 called on Dalen Ship. Bases stranded with 2 runners on. It's still 9-4 San Luis Obispo. Head into the bottom of the 6th on the SLO Blues streaming network. Leading things off here in the bottom of the 6th inning is the left-handed hitting catcher from Berkeley, Nico Button, in his SLO Blues debut. And now's a good time to remind you that this half inning is brought to you by Richardson. They are the official hat of the CCL. Button is 0 for 3 on the day, and this one's hit hard out to right center, giving chase his Ship. That's going to go over his head. In the right center gap and chugging around second base, and stopping at second is Nico Button on the leadoff double.
Good piece of hitting there by Button. Mentioned it in last night's broadcast, but it's something we've seen very consistently with all these new catchers. They get off to really slow starts in games, as Button had grounded 3 balls to second base, and then they pick it up. A double there for Button. We saw it a few nights ago with Estabrook, who went 0 for 4 to start and then had 3 RBIs and 2 hits in his last 2 at-bats. So it's just a constant theme that we're seeing. And a real impressive piece from Nico Button as well. As we've talked about, that anything right of second base is just an absolute graveyard at Sinsheimer. And to see a 3-4 hopper right there from Button, that just shows you how hard that ball was hit for extra bases. So Taylor Holder
who's starting to piece it together here in this game. 2 for 3 with 2 singles and swinging and missing for strike 1. After a 4K night last night, he struck out in his first at-bat today, but has had 2 singles since, one of them an RBI and a stolen base. 1-1 to Holder. Huge swing and miss on the breaking ball. The DH down 1-2 with a runner on second from the Nico Button double. Long look in from Mouchard, the pitcher who just came into this game. Kicks and fires. This one pops straight up, playable in the infield. Buckley coming in on it. He's got to make a lot on that ranging ball, and he comes up to squeeze it for the first out of the inning.
Not a easy play by any means. It might seem routine as it's just a little pop fly in the infield, but with how hard that wind is pushing, Buckley, had to run a good ways to pick it up or to make the catch, but it was moving very much at the end.
Now it's Isaiah Munoz, the shortstop in the 7-hole, who has reached base safely 3 times. Has taken off for third base is Nico Button, and he's out, not even close. The throw beat him by a good 3 steps.
And he got a good jump too, but just a really good play there by Brown behind the plate to get it on the money for Ansel Carson to tag him out.
A good throw from Brown over there, and it was a good jump from Nico Button, but I just simply don't think he has the speed to be taken off for third base there. So now it's 2 away for Isaiah Munoz. He's come around to score twice when he reached on an error at the shortstop and a fielder's choice. 1-1, uncomfortable swing for strike 2. Off the new pitcher in Alex Mouchard. If that name is familiar, that's because last night he started in center field and hit 9th for the Mudcats. Now he's in to pitch here, and the 1-2 to Isaiah Munoz skips in the dirt for ball 2. Primarily listed as a pitcher, committed as a pitcher to the University of Mary in North Dakota after graduating from Vanden High School. Had a 4.67 ERA his junior season with the Vikings. 2-2, swung on and missed for strike 3. So the Blues get a runner thrown out at third base, a pop out to first, and a strikeout from Isaiah Munoz. It's still 9-4 entering the final third of this game on the SLO Blues streaming network. New pitcher in for the Blues, the Gale from St. Mary's. It's John Damazonio in for his first time with the San Luis Obispo Blues. Into relief, Eddie Tierney in a 9-4 ball game in favor of SLO. Damazonio, as a freshman in 2023, appeared in 17 games, 23 strikeouts, and 19 1/3 innings pitched. And he almost hits Ansel Carson with the fastball for 1 ball and no strikes. He'll face 3-4-5 here in the top of the 7th inning. Damazonio was also named to the WCC All-Freshman team. Coming in with some good velo as well. And taking for a strike is Carson. Ansel Carson is 0 for 1 on the day with 2 walks. Came around to score. A walk in the first inning and struck out. 1-1 to him. Holds up on the swing and takes it for ball 2. Blues with a 5-run lead here in the top of the 7th inning. Strike 2 to Ansel Carson. Just attacking with the fastball and the slider in the righty-lefty matchup. Ansel Carson, his teammate at St. Mary's, on the 2-2, almost hits him with the fastball. So I'm sure that Carson is awfully familiar with Damazonio's sequencing after spending last season as Gales together.
Who do you think that gives more of an advantage to, the pitcher or the hitter?
I think as a hitter, I'd like to say the hitter, as this one shot right back to the pitcher, and Munoz recovers, but the throw goes over the head of Comerford. Damazonio almost got smoked by the comebacker, and it kicked off his foot to Munoz, and the throw almost went out of play. So Ansel Carson reaches on error from the throw from Isaiah Munoz.
A really good job there by Damazonio to tip it so that it was even playable for Munoz. If not, it probably would have just gone right back up the middle for a base hit, but he got his glove up there, tipped it, and Munoz was able to change directions, pick up the ball, and make a strong throw to first. It was just a little off line.
And Munoz was kind of there, right place, right time, because that ball could have kicked anywhere. You just throw a body part out there if you're a pitcher, and you're just hoping you can stop it from getting in the outfield. And luckily for Munoz, it skipped right to him. He just couldn't complete the throw. So now it's Connor Ross, who's been living in the nightmares of San Luis Obispo today. Huge cut at that fastball for strike 1.
You're not really ever okay with any errors, but that's one that you're a little more okay with because it was a really tough play, and by Damazonio knocking it down, it gave Munoz a chance, and he just tried to throw it as hard as he could over to first.
1-1 to Ross, missing downstairs. Ross, the DH, is 2 for 2 on the day with a double and a single, 3 RBIs. Also a hit by pitch back in the 5th where he was stranded at first base with the bases loaded. 2-1 comes home, blows the fastball right by him. And the Solano Mudcats are going to have to adjust to this increase in velocity from the WCC All-Freshman team pitcher.
Nothing they've seen yet so far today from Hammond and Tierney.
2-2, swing and a miss for strike 3. Blew the doors off Connor Ross on the fastball, and there's the first strikeout for Damazonio.
Just like you mentioned, just blowing the fastball right by him. It's tough to change your approach when you're coming up there when you have that much velo difference. I mean, it has to be at least 5 miles an hour, which might not sound like a lot, but that is a huge difference when you're in there in the box.
Now it's the catcher, Colin Brown, with a runner on first. And fastball missing away for ball 1 to Brown. Major undeclared at Holy Cross College. Long hold now coming. Swing and miss for strike 1.
Just way behind that fastball from Damazonio. And
it appears early on that he's not going to have to overthink this too much. just challenge him with the fastball and wait for them to hit it. As he's late again here and fouling this one out of play is Colin Brown.
Yeah, almost. He should almost have a similar approach that Cody Albright had last night, where he pretty much told us he was going to throw the fastball until they showed that they could hit the fastball. It's the same thing that Damazonino should do here.
Taking off for second and swinging is Brown. Mondu is right there to tap second base and throw to first.
What a double play by Mondu. He's doing it all out there. He kind of got lucky that the runner took off for second.
Yeah, he was in the right place at the right time as he went to go cover second on the throwdown on the stolen base attempt from Ansel Carson, and the ball was chopped right to him. He tapped the bag at second and went to throw to first for the double play. It's 9-4 Blues still, and it's time to stretch at Sinsheimer on the SLO Blues streaming network. Bottom of the 7th inning, and I'd like to remind you that this inning is brought to you by Studio Design Group Architects. You can find them at sdgarchitects.com. Studio Design Group Architects. For 40 years, they've designed building with one thing in mind: people. New pitcher in for the Solano Mudcats. It's Devin Hancock. And he'll face 8-9-1 for San Luis Obispo. Giovanni Blanchette takes strike 2. Last time he was up, hit the first home run of the Blues season. And he takes the fastball upstairs for ball 1.
It was a good piece of lumber, a tad bit underneath it, but the way the wind's blowing out there, he was just able to sneak it over the wall.
1-2 to Blanchette, taken outside, and he evens up the count. Yeah, he put a real nice swing on it, and in batting practice, we were talking about the loud contact he was having. It's nice to see that carry over into this game for Blanchette. That's from the windup is Hancock, swinging and missing for strike 3. Giovanni Blanchette is down on strikes for the first out of the inning, and now it's Caden Cuccia who struck out twice himself today.
Cuccia's been one of the more fun guys to watch when he's in the lineup on the 31st against the Indians. He reached base safely all 6 times he came to the plate. He had a walk-off last Monday. He just hasn't been able to put bat on ball today.
Oh, a huge cut from Cuccia, pulling his head for strike 1. Hancock, a pitcher from Solano Community College, entering his sophomore season. Pitched in 42 2/3 as a freshman. As this one skips in the dirt. Made 3 starts, 24 strikeouts in those 42 2/3, accompanied with 22 walks.
18 appearances, though. So maybe more of a relief guy, but started here and there, some bullpen games.
2-1 to the left-handed hitting Cuccia, playing third base today. Watches that looping breaking ball for a ball.
I'm not sure where that one missed, but Cuccia will take it.
Yeah, he gets a call and he moves up in the count. Ready to grip and rip on 3-1. Bunted in the first, 2 strikeouts after that. 2-seam fastball in there for a strike. Just clipping the bottom half of the zone. And that was the plan of attack yesterday for the Solano Mudcats, and that plan is being executed here with Hancock. Full count to Cuccia. Huge swing and miss for strike 3. Cuccia goes down on strikes and 2 Ks in a row for Devin Hancock.
Just in between with their timing, Hancock's thrown a lot of off speed. We've seen a curve, we've seen a slider, we've seen a fastball too, but using all 3 pitches in a good mix and making it tough for Blanchette and Cuccia to put the bat on the ball.
0-0 to the leadoff batter. E.J. Royal is taken for a ball. He is 1 for 4 on the day. 2 RBI single, came around to score after stealing twice. 1-0 to the Trailblazer. Swung on and fisted in play still and foul. More on the superstitions of E.J. Royal. We were talking to him in the batting practice today, going over the energy drink situation. He still had his Subway sandwich.
He said if he had to take a guess, it's probably been about 300 sandwiches since his sophomore year of high school. I don't know. I would get sick and tired of the same thing over and over again, but not EJ.
And he was saying that everyone's always saying to him, oh, why Subway? Why couldn't it be Jersey Mike's? And he just rolls his eyes at those people. He's just a Subway enthusiast, I guess. Just an undefeated combo for him. The Razzleberry Bang and the Subway sandwich. 2-2 dribbles it foul.
It's a weird combination, but, I mean, whatever works for him. He started off the season 13 for 20, slumped a little bit. He's now 1 for his last 8, but, I mean, still has over a 400 average with that hot start.
2-2 just missing outside, filling it up. 2 away here to the leadoff batter, who has 1 hit today. Blues still up by 5 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Payoff pitch to Royal. Missing upstairs, and that's ball 4. 2 out base runner for the Blues after the first 2 batters strike out. And now Jake Hixenbaugh has the chance to maybe start a rally here.
Yeah, and a guy that's been swinging the bat really well today. Another guy who's making some really loud contact in the cages before the game.
And he caught fire late in that game against the Santa Maria Indians. Didn't collect his first hit against Santa Maria until the 8th inning. That 9-run explosion that San Luis Obispo had. But since then, he's been having good bat to ball. 2 hits today, 2 singles, 3 stolen bases. Also walked and was stranded at second in the 3rd inning. Short lead from first is E.J. Royal. Coming set is Hancock. Takes a few nods. Now comes home. Missing outside on that fastball. 2-0 to Jake Hixenbaugh.
Yeah, when we were talking to Hixenbaugh yesterday before the game, he was telling us that he was pretty upset when he popped out in the 5th inning because he felt like he was getting good pitches to hit. And then he eventually turned it around in the 8th, like you mentioned.
2-0 to Hixenbaugh, missing downstairs, ball 3. 5 straight balls from Devin Hancock, graduate of Wood High School, which is fitting, I guess. Jake Hicksonbaugh walks with 2 outs. Runners on first and second after Hicksonbaugh draws the second 2-out walk this inning.
Some of the folks that make blues baseball possible on the coast, some of our sponsors include the Mountain Air, Tin City Cider, Trophy Hunters, Urology Associates of the Central Coast, Bureau Mortgage.
So now it's Braden Mondew, his 5th plate appearance of the day. 2 Ks, 2 walks. Came around to score in the second inning.
Interesting to see what his approach will be here against the guy who's thrown now 6 straight balls. Might take a pitch until a strike or what have you.
From the stretch, looping breaking ball taken for a strike.
That must be his comfortable pitch there. After throwing 6 straight balls, you usually see guys go to their fastball, but for him it was a looping breaking ball.
Mudcats have another arm going in the bullpen. 2 takes at second base, now coming home to Mondew. Huge cut at another curveball for strike 2. Devin Hancock started the inning with 2 strikeouts and has since given 2 walks to the San Luis Obispo offense. Now Mondew finds himself in an 0-2 count with 2 runners on. Up by 5 and dodging out of the way that fastball for ball 1. Two JUCO bandits duking it out here. Mondew, a graduate of Pima Community College. Devin Hancock, a current student at Solano Community College. Now they find themselves 1-2 here in this at-bat. Bottom of the 7th inning. Mondew swings and misses for strike 3. There's the 3rd K of the day for Braden Mondew, and 2 runners are stranded. Still 9-4 Blues heading into the top of the 8th inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. Cody Buckley, Dash Carson, and Max McGee for the Solano Mudcats to lead off the 8th inning as John Damazonio heads back out there for his 2nd inning of work, the flamethrower from St. Mary's. Made quick work out of the Mudcats in his first appearance in the 7th inning. All thanks to a double play that was conveniently chopped right into the glove of Mondu at second base as he went to cover a stolen base attempt from Ansel Carson.
Yeah, today's been a weird game, and that was just the cherry on top.
Nice location there, and Cody Buckley takes a look at strike one. Solano Mudcats still trying to figure out this fastball from Demozanillo. 1-1, yanks it and skipping away from Nico Button for ball two.
Just tried to overthrow that one. Already, he has plenty of velocity. He doesn't need to overthrow it.
Yeah, his velo that he's been throwing so effortlessly has already been rather effective against these Mudcats hitters. And that's strike two. Fastball low in the zone, clipped the bottom half of the strike zone from Demozanillo as he comes set on the payoff pitch to Cody Buckley. 3-2, swing and a miss. Louisiana Bayou for Cody Buckley.
Good mix there by Buckley, or by Demozanillo on Buckley. They still haven't figured out the fastball, so why not throw it over and over again until they do?
So now digging in and waiting for him on the rubber is Demozanillo. Eyeing his prey in the next batter of Dash Carson, the shortstop, who takes a look at the fastball for strike one.
It's unfortunate we're not playing the crawdads because it'd be perfect for the Louisiana Bayou comment that you just made.
I believe a mudcat is a catfish. As this one sent into right field, that's a foul ball.
I think you're right.
That's a Cajun cuisine, right?
Let's see. What is a mudcat?
Yeah.
Mississippi Valley.
See?
So there you go.
They definitely throw some Bon Temps hot sauce on those things.
You got to. It's the best hot sauce around.
Demozanillo eyeing his prey again in Dash Carson as he's 0-2. Here he comes. Fastball just missing upstairs. Carson, a rising sophomore at Marin Community College. One, two. Breaking ball looped into right field. Blanchette's got plenty of room to camp underneath it for the second out of the inning. Just had to take one or two half steps in and squeeze it for the second out.
A lot of balls been hit to Blanchette today. He's been doing it all. He did have the error, but that was a really tough play in the sixth inning, and it didn't lead to any damage. He's done a pretty good job out there fielding right field.
He just kind of lost his footing a bit coming in on a Mason Sayer fly ball. He had it for a second and tripped over his own feet or got tangled up there in right and eventually lost control of it. But other than that, a great game from Blanchette with the Blues' first home run of this season as well. 1-0 late on the fastball and fouled out of the stadium is Max McGee.
To talk about his home run a little bit, he's not really the type of guy that you would expect to go deep. He's a little bit of smaller build, stocky though, but not a ton of power out of the kid that we've seen until the home run.
Can certainly pack a punch with his power, and we saw it with that bomb to left field.
Be awesome if he could continue to hit for power. The Blues have kind of been rotating some right fielders, and if Blanchette continues to hit the ball well, he might solidify his spot out there.
Half swing for strike two. Got Max McGee guessing as he checks up his swing on the fastball. Two balls and two strikes, two away. Swing and a miss, strike three. Another strikeout for Demozanillo, and the side is retired. We head to the bottom of the eighth, 9-4 Blues on the SLO Blues streaming network. Another arm in for the Solano Mudcats. It's DJ Anderson, the sixth pitcher that the Blues will see today. He's coming from Concordia University, a rising sophomore from Fairfield, California.
Yeah, Hancock just got his pitch count up there with the couple of walks. Maybe that's why we see another pitcher for the Mudcats.
So leading things off, it's Brendan Comerford playing first base today. And there's ball 1 to him. Got one hit, an RBI single. He stole third base and came around to score in the second. He takes a look at ball 2. Mudcats throwing a lot of looks at San Luis Obispo today, as they haven't scored since the 4th inning, a 2-spot. 2-0, Comerford chops it down the left side. Diving stop from Carson on the backhand, and Comerford beats it out. Infield single in the second hit of the day for the first baseman.
There's a really good job over there by Ansel Carson on that line to keep it in front of him. If it gets by him, it's probably a 2-bagger, but he's able to make a sliding play. There's no way he was going to get Comerford at first, but like I said, it saved 90 feet, especially for Nico Button, who roped a ball last time.
Yeah, this ball was absolutely touched in the right center gap. 3-hop the wall in the graveyard of that outfield as he serves this one to left, falling fast, and that's in there for a base hit. First pitch Nico Button sees in his 5th plate appearance of the day is a single. 2 hits in a row for San Luis Obispo, and now Taylor Holder, who will look for his 3rd hit of the day, digs in for the Blues.
It's good to see Button getting it going. He was very solid at Cal with a .426 slugging this last year.
Holder holds up on the bounce pass for ball 1. Now, what's nice about that Button hit that we just saw was the first one to the left side of the field. Has been pulling everything today, the left-handed hitting catcher. 3 grounders to the second baseman. And that double was in the right center gap, so it's nice to see him poke one the other way. Wasn't hit as hard as I'm sure he would have wanted it to, but it almost worked in his favor as it dropped in front of McGee.
Yeah, and I'm sure Rene Regalado, the hitting coach, will be very happy with his approach there.
Skipping at second base is Comerford, as Holder takes his 3rd straight ball. Holder, like I said, 2 hits on the day, one of them an RBI single. He popped out to Buckley last time he was up. 3-0 taken for a strike.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, Anderson might have gotten a call there, clipping the outer half of the strike zone to the right-handed batter and Taylor Holder. DHing tonight, he's got runners on first and second and a 3-1 count, and he takes a look at strike 2. Able to corral that fastball a little bit more in the zone that time was Anderson.
Holder looked like he wanted to offer at it as he was leaning out over the plate, but I think it was a good decision by him to not swing, because when he's leaning like that, it's going to be tough to make good contact.
Swing and missing for strike 3. So going 3 straight balls and then striking out for the second time today is Taylor Holder. 1 away here in the 8th inning.
And as good as Taylor Holder was at Nevada with that .663 slugging, one thing he did struggle a little bit with was striking out. He struck out about 25% of the time he came to the plate, so looking to change that here this summer, but so far 6 strikeouts on the season.
Taking off for 3rd is Comerford, but fouling it off is Isaiah Munoz. He'll return back to second base. Munoz, who has reached safely in 3 out of 4 plate appearances today. Came around to score twice, and he stands up tall in the right-handed batter's box. The shortstop going to Cal State Northridge next season. Pulling the fastball low is Anderson for ball 1. Still a 9-4 lead for San Luis Obispo. They haven't scored since the 4th inning where they put up 2 runs. As Munoz takes outside. They put up 5 in the second after responding with 2 in the first. Mudcats got it going with the very first frame of action in this game, the Blues had an answer right away. They haven't looked back since. Munoz spoils this one straight back.
Yeah, we've seen a very different game since the fourth inning. There was a lot of runs really quickly, as it was, like you're mentioning, 9-4 after 4 innings, and since then a bunch of zeros up there on the scoreboard.
Lots of goose eggs for the Mudcats and the Blues, as taking a look at strike 3 is Munoz. So after doing a good job of spoiling back some pitches, he goes down on strikes looking. Second one of the day for Isaiah Munoz. So here's Gio Blanchette. He struck out his last time up. That was his first of the day, but before then, really showcased his power with the first Blues home run of this season, the first one at Sinsheimer as well. Double steal taken off, and both runners are safe. Well executed by Brendan Comerford and Nico Button, two guys that aren't necessarily known for their speed, taken off on the double steal with 2 outs.
Yeah, really good job by Comerford. He probably saw the off speed out of the hand and decided to take off, and Button followed behind him.
Chopper from Blanchette in play, long throw over from third base, and Blanchette is retired. So the Blues don't get any runs after back-to-back base hits to start off the inning. It's still 9-4 heading into the top of the 9th inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. John Demazzino is looking to close the door in front of exactly 1,500 SLO Blues fans this afternoon in a 9-4 ball game in Game 2 against the Solano Mudcats.
He's done a good job up to this point. 36 pitches, 3 strikeouts, faced the minimum.
And for him, the key this afternoon has been that fastball, just blowing the doors off these Mudcats hitters. Here's a fastball taken for a strike against Braden and Delicato.
He'll be a really good relief guy for the Blues if he can continue this dominance with his fastball like we've seen so far in his first 2 innings.
Long pause, deep breath. Now he comes home, swing and a miss for strike 2.
Fans here want their hot sauce.
It'd be their 9th bottle this afternoon from the Blues pitching staff. They've thrown 3 guys out there today after a start from Hunter Hammond. Here's the 1-2. Fastball dodging out of the way is Indelicato, and the count evens up. 5 innings, the Mudcats have been shut out after scoring 2 in the third. Missing downstairs is Demazonio for ball 3. Prior to his time at St. Mary's, he had a 1.09 ERA in his senior season at Bellarmine Prep in San Jose. Fastball almost hits Indelicado, and there's a leadoff walk for the Mudcats. Top of the 9th inning, and a base runner is aboard for Solano, trying to carve into that 5-run deficit against the Blues. So now we'll flip it to the top of the order, and Mason Sayer, the second baseman. Change up in there for a strike. Looking for his first base hit of the day. He's reached safely in 1 of 4 plate appearances. That walk back in the 3rd inning where he eventually came around to score. 0-1 slider in there for a strike. 0-2 to the second baseman, batting leadoff for the Mudcats. The Hawaii Pacific Shark on the 0-2. Fastball missing in the dirt. Runner at first, no one out, 1-2 to Mason Sayer. Demozonio comes home, missing upstairs for ball 2. From the right-handed batter's box, it's Mason Sayer, the redshirt freshman from Vacaville, California. 2-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. First out of the inning is a K to the leadoff batter, Mason Sayer.
Little backwards approach there from Damazonio, starting with the changeup, then the slider, and then using the fastball as the putout pitch.
And it was just too quick for the barrel of Mason Sayer as he goes down on strikes. For the first time today, bunt attempt from Ship is popped straight up and fouled back.
I don't know what bunting down 5 in the top of the 9th is going to do for your team.
Going to have to do a lot more than that to cut into this deficit against San Luis Obispo. On the 1-0, nice off-speed in there for a strike. So now Dalen Ship is down 0-2 in the count to Damazonio. The flamethrower from St. Mary's up against Ship, who had 127 ABs and 34 hits last season with Diablo Valley College.
1 for 4 with a home run and a walk.
1-2 to the right-handed batter. 1 away and a runner at first base. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there for strike 3. Ship gets caught looking for the second K of the inning, and the Blues are 1 out away from putting a bow on this dub.
Ship did not agree with that strike 3 call. He immediately locked legs and locked eyes with the umpire behind the plate and asked him, where was that a strike?
Dirty Fish down to their last out here in the top of the 9th inning, trailing 5. As taken off for second base was Indelicado, but fouling it straight back is Carson. Ansel Carson reached base safely 3 times in 4 plate appearances, 2 walks and reach on error, and he also struck out. Stranded at second with the bases loaded in the 5th. He came around to score in the 1st, one of the 4 runs for Solano. 0-1 and taking off for second again is Indelicado. Catcher's indifference. No one's even around second base. Run doesn't matter too much here for San Luis Obispo, as Demazonio is a strike away from ending this ball game. Fastball inside, barely missing the zone.
That pitch looked like it had a little bit of two-seam run on it, coming back into the zone, and the fans here getting a chuckle out of our media guy up here.
1-2 to Carson. Fastball missing outside. Evens it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second base. 9-4 ball game in front of 1,500 fans at Sinsheimer Stadium on a Mimosa Sunday. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 looking. 3 strikeouts to end the game for John Damazonio. And the Blues take the win 9-4 over the Solano Mudcats in Game 2 of this 2-game series.
Really good job there by the pitching staff. Tierney and Damazonio to come in relief and really just shut out these Mudcats. Tierney only gave up 3 base runners on 3 walks, and Damazonio only gave up 2 base runners, 1 an error and 1 a walk. So just a really good job to keep runners off base and not allow the Mudcats to come back in this game.
Really exciting stuff from Damazonio, flashing that fastball late in relief in this game. He had 6 strikeouts in 3 innings, and a lot of excitement floating through the air now at Sinsheimer with this new pitcher entering the bullpen for San Luis Obispo.
Yeah, he was throwing hard out there and making it hard for the Mudcats to hit it. Just a really good overall game. Offensively, what about Giovanni Blanchett?
How about it?
Hitting the first home run of the season for the Blues on a ball that just barely got out over the "We Are Golf" sign in left field. A really good swing and, first home run of the season.
Real special moment for the Blues offense there, and they addressed a huge problem that they had last night with only 4 hits. They put up 12 today and 9 runs against the very same team that they got held to 1 run against last night. So a dramatic improvement from that offense today. And I think we talked with Rene Regalado in pregame about this, and that the issue was that they were just hitting balls straight into the ground. Well, obviously, we just talked about the Giovanni Blanchett home run. He wanted to lift that one, and he did. It caught the jet stream, and it added 2 runs to that slow Blues lead, and everyone else followed suit today.
Yeah, only 2 extra base hits, but a ton of singles, and they really capitalized on the 2 errors by the Mudcats as well as the 8 free passes they gave up.
And I think a hitter that I'm glad to see improve a little bit from yesterday was Taylor Holder. He had those 4 strikeouts yesterday. He had 2 more Ks today, but he started to piece it together just a little bit with those 2 base hits. Now, they're not the rockets that we're known to see him hitting. They were just kind of little squibber singles, but base hits nonetheless, and he's just trying to get back to his normal self that we saw at Nevada. And once he gets there, it's going to be trouble for the pitching staff of opposing teams.
Yeah, he's just getting adjusted to the new environment here, playing in front of a ton of fans as well. You've got no batter eye like he has in Reno, a white shed that makes it harder to see the ball directly in center field. And then even during the night games, you have the lights from the scoreboard that can impair his vision on the curveball, anything coming up over the top. So it's just hard for him to read pitches out of the hand, but he'll get used to it, and he'll start hitting the ball really well here at Sinsheimer.
And I guess you could say the Blues somewhat addressed the issues of errors from last night. After putting up 5, they still had 2 today, and the only reason that flew for them is because they had 12 hits and 9 runs. And we talked about it in the middle of the game that it's not necessarily a sustainable model. Of course, you would like to have the bats swing like they do today every single day, but that's just not realistic.
Yeah, one of their errors, too, was an error made by Munoz when he was just trying to throw it as hard as he could to first base because the ball tipped off of Damazonio's glove. So he was just doing everything he could to try to get the out. It didn't result in extra bases or anything like that, so it's an error that you're okay with. But like you mentioned, a much better job tonight than last night. 7 of the runs last night that the Mudcats scored were unearned.
So the Blues get their 5th win of the season. They improved to 5-2 on the year after a 9-4 victory against the Solano Mudcats. They split the series, but they win the weekend, going 2-1 with that 1 loss against Solano yesterday. They'll take a long break during the middle of the week, but they will return on Friday to host the Indians again. Then we'll see the rivals from down south, the Santa Barbara Foresters, and then the Indians once again on Sunday. We got more action for you Friday, Saturday, Sunday next weekend. The players are going to rest up throughout the week and get ready until then. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Slow Blues Baseball on the Slow Blues Streaming Network. My name is Nate Mills, joined by Ryan Giacomini. Have a great day, everyone.